Fitzmagic against Jacksonville. He has now beaten the Jaguars with 6 different teams in his career. According to Elias, he is the only quarterback to beat a single opponent while playing for 6 different franchises. And that brings us to this. Looking at the Jacksonville side of this, our buddy Ryan Clark, who is the best Twitter feed in sports, tweeted, "This Gardner Minshew will get the tank for Trevor or fail for Fields rally cries going." Well, it just so happens I have Ryan Clark with me this morning, and RC jumps into the conversation with my guys. Rob Ninkovich is here, and our insider, Jeremy Fowler. RC, talk about that a little bit here. Jacksonville played well the first 2 weeks, sort of silenced a little bit of the tanking conversation, but you've brought it up again last night. How come?
Well, the reason is when you watch Gardner Minshew last night, I think that's everyone's worst nightmare, that you get the bottom ring of Gardner Minshew, that you don't get the Gardner Minshew that played against the Tennessee Titans and kept them in that game. You don't get the Gardner Minshew that played against the Indianapolis Colts week 1 and was able to eke that game out. You get this Gardner Minshew. You get the Gardner Minshews whose measurables don't show up. You get the Gardner Minshew who shows he doesn't have the arm strength or sometimes can make bad decisions. And so when you start to see those things combined with what's going on with the rest of the team, you start to think, oh, man, maybe we do need a quarterback. Maybe this guy isn't our quarterback of the future. And here is why. Another tweet I put out last night was in regards to something Troy Aikman was saying. Troy Aikman was talking about first-rounders and late-round draft picks and undrafted free agents. And he kind of fumbled over it, but that's because he was a first-round draft pick. He doesn't know. The tweet was this. I said that first-round draft picks have to work extremely hard to show you that they cannot play, whereas late-round guys and undrafted guys have to work their entire careers to show you that that they can. And that's where Gardner Minshew is. Yeah. Every time he doesn't play well, every night that there's an opportunity to see that we can have somebody better, that's what people are going to start to think. And a night like last night really makes you look at Trevor Lawrence versus the Citadel and say, man, I wish he was dropping some of those dimes on Thursday night for us.
That's a very interesting way of putting it. And Rob Ninkovich, we brought this up in our meeting before the show, and the second I said the word tanking, I heard the reaction in your voice. Nink, your thoughts?
No, you don't tank. Look, NFL players, it's in you. It's a competitive thing. Look, you go out there on the football field, you want to win. You're competing against other guys in the NFL. You potentially could tear your ACL, be hurt for the rest of your career. Your career could be over, so you're not going out there on the football field to tank, okay? Greeny, that's like if we said to you, like, look, hey, Greeny, tomorrow, like, why don't you just not be so good on TV so then we can get a better guy next year to help you? Like, that's not going to be the case. It's not going to happen. So if the competitiveness in an athlete, you cannot go out there, and you can't even tank if you tried to tank because it's just not in you. If you make it to the NFL, there's no tanking in your system. You can't do it. It's not in you.
Totally get it. The people who wind up tanking are the ones who aren't playing on the football field, right? They're the owners and the GMs and all that. Yeah, go ahead, RC.
Greeny, yes, the players ain't going to tank, but you can't win if the tank is empty. If the Jacksonville Jaguars put together a team that can't get the car rolling, then you can't drive. And that's where they are. I know players don't tank. We decided on the grass. But if you don't have the guns, if you don't have the people, it don't matter.
Meanwhile, Jeremy Fowler, you have insight into this as our insider. What can you tell us?
Yeah, I can talk from the team perspective. I spoke to a source in Jacksonville who outlined all the reasons why they believe they are not tanking. Okay, they've paid players. Brandon Linder is one of 3 players, along with Joe Schober, Miles Jack. They've gotten contracts of $50+ million. I asked about all the guys that they traded away, Leonard Fournette, Yannick Ngakoue. They said, look, those players either didn't want to be here or they became a personality clash. So it just didn't fit our culture. They did try to go get Andy Dalton, a former Pro Bowler, to come in and compete at the quarterback spot. And they believe they have legitimate stars and guys like DJ Shark and, some other players that are up and coming. C.J. Henderson, the cornerback, Josh Allen off the edge.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.